Good morning. My name is Nurul Syuhada binti Shamshuddin, and today I will present on language choices that support restorative practice and student well-being. This presentation is a part of Task 2 and it builds directly on my written assignment about cyberbullying and restorative communication. Over the next 50 minutes, I will guide you through the incident scenario, explain how teachers use different communication styles, highlight the importance of cohesion and grammar, and finally reflect on what this means for my future teaching practice. So the aim is to show that language is not just about grammar. It is about responsibility, empathy, and professionalism in supporting students. As teachers, our words can either escalate conflict or create misunderstanding. Today, I will show how careful language choices can protect dignity and promote well-being. Before we begin, I invite you to think about your own experiences with communication. Have you ever noticed how a single phrase said in the wrong tone can change the meaning completely? This is exactly why language choices matter so much in education. So moving on to the slide number 2, which is incident context. Let me begin with the incident. On 12 March 2026, a fake screenshot was shared in a class WhatsApp group. It appeared to show student B making disrespectful remarks about a teacher. In reality, student A had edited the screenshot as a joke. Unfortunately, many classmates believed it was real, and student B felt embarrassed and got humiliated. Her reputation was damaged and her emotional well-being was affected. This incident is so important because it shows how quickly digital content can spread and how easily reputation can be harmed. It also highlights the responsibility teachers have in responding to such cases. The school decided to address this through a restorative approach focusing on accountability, repairing relationships, and ensuring that both students understood the impact of their actions. This scenario is not unique. Cyberbullying cases like this happens in schools worldwide. What makes this case significant is the way the school chose to respond, not with punishment but with communication. That decision reflects a belief that language can heal, not just discipline. Think about how many times students share content online without considering the consequences. This case reminds us that teachers must be ready to respond with both firmness and empathy. Moving on to the slide number 3, which is purpose of communication. This brings us to the purpose of communication in schools. Teachers must ensure clarity, maintain professionalism, and protect student well-being. Clarity means that information is presented in a way that avoids misunderstanding, and professionalism means that teachers use neutral and respectful language even when addressing a misconduct. Protecting student well-being means that communication should reduce conflict and support dignity. For example, if a teacher uses harsh or accusatory language, students may feel attacked and withdraw. But if the teacher uses neutral, supportive language, students are more likely to engage and reflect. In this presentation, I will show how different registers, formal, supportive, and developmental, achieve this purpose in different contexts. Each register has its own role, and together they form a complete communication strategy for teachers. This is why communication is not just about delivering information, it is about shaping relationships, guiding behavior, and creating a safe environment where students can learn and grow. Moving on to the slide number 4, which is formal communication or incident report. So the first style is formal communication used in the incident report. This register is neutral, objective, and professional. For example, the report states it was reported that the image had been manipulated. Notice the passive voice. It focuses on the event rather than blaming the students directly. This helps maintain neutrality. Formal communication is essential when reporting to school management because it ensures that the documentation is clear, factual, and free from emotional bias. It is also demonstrates professionalism in handling such sensitive issues. If the report had been written with emotional language, such as student A maliciously attacked student B, it would sound accusatory and could escalate the situation. By using neutral phrasing, the teacher maintains fairness and allows management to make decisions based on facts. This shows us that grammar choices are not just technical, they are ethical. The passive voice, for example, can protect students from unnecessary blame while still documenting the truth. Formal communication also sets the tone for how the school responds. A well-written report shows that the teacher is professional, objective, and committed to fairness. Moving on to the next slide, supportive communication or restorative conference. The second style is supportive communication used in the restorative conference. So here, the teacher asks respectful, open-ended questions such as, how do you think this affected her? This style shows empathy and encourages students to reflect on the impact of their actions. It is not about punishment, but repairing trust and relationships. Supportive communication helps students feel heard, reduces defensiveness, and promotes accountability. It is a vital tool in restorative practice. For example, instead of saying you were wrong to do this, the teacher might say, can you reflect on how this might have affected your classmate? This shift in language changes the tone from blame to reflection, which is more constructive. Supportive communication also models empathy for students. When teachers use language that acknowledges feelings, students learn to do the same. This builds a culture of respect in the classroom. It is important to note that supportive communication does not mean ignoring wrongdoing. It means addressing it in a way that promotes understanding and healing rather than conflict. Moving on to the slide number 6, developmental communication or reflection prompts. So the third style is developmental communication used in the reflection activity. So students are guided to think about responsibility and self-awareness. For example, in the prompts included, what could you have done differently and what steps can you take to repair the harm you caused? This register encourages students to learn from mistakes and develop responsible digital behavior. It is forward-looking, helping students grow and avoid repeating harmful actions. Developmental communication is so important because it moves beyond the incident itself. It helps students build skills for the future, such as empathy, responsibility, and digital citizenship. These are all lifelong skills that go beyond the classroom. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools in education. When students are guided to think critically about their actions, they begin to internalize values. This is how language supports not just discipline but character development. Teachers who use developmental communication are not just solving problems, they are shaping future citizens who understand the impact of their words and actions. Moving on to the slide number 7, which is cohesion and grammar choices. So, across all these contexts, cohesion and grammar choices are essential. Cohesive devices such as firstly, however, therefore, in addition, guide the listener and structure ideas. Grammar structures also matter. Reported speech presents perspective objectively, passive voice maintains neutrality, and complex sentences shows relationship between intention and impact. For example, although student A claimed it was a joke, the message caused emotional distress. This sentence shows contrast between intention and consequence. Together, these choices make communication sounds professional, clear, and effective. Without them, communication could become confusing, biased, or even harmful. Teachers must therefore be intentional in their language choices. Grammar is often seen as a rule for writing, but in this context, grammar is a tool for fairness. The way we phrase a sentence can protect a student's dignity, or if we misuse, we can damage it. That is why cohesion and grammar are central to restorative communication. And also, this is why teachers must be conscious of their language choices. Every phrase, every sentence, every structure carries meaning and can influence how students feel and respond to it. Moving on to the slide number 8, which is professional reflection. So through this task, I learned that language is not only about grammar, it is about ethics. The way teachers phrase information can protect students' dignity and well-being. Professional communication also reduces conflict, supports accountability, and creates a safe learning environment. As a future teacher myself, I will use clear, empathetic, and professional language to guide students toward responsible digital citizenship. This reflection shows that communication is central to both teaching and learning and student well-being. For me personally, this assignment has shown that grammar is not just technical skill. It is a tool for building trust, guiding behavior, and protecting students. This is also a powerful reminder of the responsibility teachers carry. I believe that every teacher must see themselves not only as an educator, but also as a communicator. Our words shape the classroom environment, influence relationships, and even affect students' mental health. That is why this reflection is so important. This task has also reminded me that communication is a lifelong skill. As a teachers, we must continue to reflect on our language choices and improve them because our words have the power to shape lives. Moving on to the next slide, which is the final slide, and the conclusion. So, in conclusion, effective teacher communication combines responsibility, empathy, and professionalism. By choosing the right style and register, and also by using cohesive devices and grammar carefully, teachers can manage sensitive issues like cyberbullying while supporting students' well-being. This presentation have shown how formal, supportive, and developmental communication each play a role and how grammar choices strengthen clarity and neutrality. Meanwhile, formal communication ensures that reports are objective and professional, and supportive communication allows students to feel heard, helps repair relationships. Meanwhile, the developmental communication guides students toward reflection and growth. Together, all these approaches create a holistic framework for managing conflict in schools. Language is not only a tool for delivering information, it is a tool for shaping relationships, building trust, and protecting dignity. When teachers choose their words carefully, they can de-escalate the conflict, promotes accountability, and creates a safe environment for learning. When language is careless, however, it can cause harm, deepen the misunderstanding, and damage students' well-being. Looking ahead, I see communication as one of the most important responsibilities of a teacher. Beyond lessons plan and classroom management, it is our language that creates the atmosphere of respect and trust. It is our language that helps students feel safe to learn, to admit mistakes, and to grow. Therefore, my final message is effective communication is not optional for teachers, it is essential. It is the foundation of restorative practice, the key to student well being, and the bridge between conflict and resolution. By committing to responsible, empathetic, and professional language, we can guide students to a better digital citizenship. That is all for me. Thank you for listening.